Yes.
Hey, welcome back. Okay, cool. So we're off. We're getting ready to leave the ship. So your investigation's over, and the elevator comes to a rest on the ground. So do you guys go back to your ship, talk to Chan? What do you do? So the ship is the lift is heading down towards the planet, and you'll be released when you get to the planet side.
Keep my eyes peeled for danger.
Chen does send you a message after you finish the interviews, whether you need anything else, and
you broke up there. I didn't get all that.
Chan sends you a message asking you if you need anything else once you're done the interviews.
Yeah, I'll message her back. Nope, that's all. I think we're done. Doesn't look like that was, a target. It was just part of their transportation for these explosives. So you can go ahead and clean up the cargo bay, I guess, and send the rest of the cargo on its way.
Okay. Do you guys leave the remains of these explosives with them? They're mostly garbage.
We will
they've
take
been blown up
and use them against themselves.
But they've been literally blown up.
Yeah, I don't think we want. I would think.
Not if I roll high enough.
I would just tell her to contact.
Her bosses.
Yeah, I guess just. Yeah.
I mean, you could...
Xiaomi and ask them what they want to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, you could, if you take it with you, use it as 1 ton for salvage. Just mark it down next to the ship's 1 ton exploded materials.
Is that ton with an E?
Yeah. Metric tons, man.
I mean, do we think it's worth anything?
You might get something out of it. It's not going to be big, but, salvage is salvage.
Worth something to somebody. It's just whether we can find
She's willing to let you take it. She basically asks.
Sure. All right, yeah, we'll take it.
Okay, so mark it on the ship 1 ton and just call it...
Who asked us to do this?
Chan asks you what she should do with it, and if you say something like, we'll take it, she will let you have it. It is a 1 ton box.
She'll owe us. That's how this works, right?
I don't think that would work on her.
I scratched your back,
She's not much of what you would call a back scratcher.
Right. That makes sense.
Back scratcher! Okay, so, the ship is, or the lift is about to come to the surface.
No.
Are you planning on just flying away in your ship, or are you planning on wandering around the city?
Probably flying away, right, guys?
Well, I was just wondering if we should scan the city. I guess we got to scan a broad area. A depth analyzer might not be okay.
I don't know what you would be scanning for.
Yeah.
I can barely hear you, dude.
For things. Scanning for things.
Can't hear me?
No. You're always really quiet.
It's this mic. What's wrong with
It's part of his character at this moment.
Do you have a headset? You should totally try a headset.
I'll try it, but
It is
Just
hard
next
to hear
time. Anyways, so yeah, I don't know what you would scan for. You could wander around and explore Finvar City, It's
not our
in the
target,
beautiful
right?
Lake District.
Beautiful, full of explosives.
It is currently
Hmm.
spore season for the ooze in the area, but
Beautiful spore season.
I just want to know whether I'm describing you guys leaving the station or if I'm describing you
We're
flying
leaving,
away.
right, guys? We're not sticking around here. Why would we stick around?
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Why do we stick around here?
Yeah, why?
So the lift comes to a rest. There's two buildings in front of it. You guys are in your ship. Near at about what is it? About 10. The area 10 meters above the ground and below is seeped in kind of a lot of particles of these spores.
Gross.
And all the ooze, which is like these kind of weird plants that kind of move around and they kind of change shape based on like the sun or whatever they're using at the particular moment. They're kind of in like this odd kind of blooming period. So there's a lot of spores everywhere. It looks like it's been going on for a while and maybe ending soon because they're kind of starting to shrink down and that sort of thing. Anybody with biotech, decent biosciences would know all of this stuff. So
Giant, disgusting plant orgy.
yes. So you guys, they come to the locks on the ship kind of pull to lift off of it. So it was holding the ship so it won't fall off, and you take off. So you fly above the kind of hazy ground. You see all these lakes in the general area. The city spreads out and has some neighborhoods amongst the lakes. All these lakes covering most of the area. And you are going to the Lervec hold, right?
Totally.
Okay, so you head kind of southeast across you go across the area of a giant quite swamp kind of area which kind of has this odd little bit of a glow to it over top of the ocean is sparkled little bits of small islands and stuff through the ocean. The ammonia and hydroxide ocean is kind of pinky in color as you fly above it, and you see ahead of you this massive island. It's like about half the size of Australia, and most of the surface seems to be choked with a jungle, a massive jungle. It's a rocky island that sticks up all weirdly, and there's these massive, and you've seen them before, they're very similar to the used plants that you saw around Finvar City, but they're much wilder. There's way more of them, and they're sticking off of every rock, reaching out for the sky. It's quite a bit, it's a little bit warmer here. This is a very hot planet. It's technically hot. It's around 50 centigrade. Due to the actual tilt, it's like 55. At this point, you're just a little bit further towards the equator than you were before. 55, maybe 60 at certain times of the day kind of thing. It's fucking hot. And you see these plants everywhere. You fly over the island, and you see in the center of, not the center, but kind of middle to the east side, there's this large bay, and there's a huge kind of building, almost pyramidal. The walls kind of go up slanted and then straight, and then they stop off, so that was kind of like the bottom step of the step, like a step pyramid almost. And on the inside there's these like multiple buildings that stick up, and they're all kind of out of this similar kind of gray material, and there's no ooze growing off of any of the buildings at all. And as you've seen, like, flying around, like, the spores just land on things and they'll start to grow. So in Finvar City, there seem to be some issues with a lot of the buildings would have ooze growing off of them. But you don't see anything coming off of any of the buildings at Lervik Holt.
Huh.
And they don't
architecture.
really have a lot of windows. Like, there's transparent areas, and it's like multi-thick of the same kind of silvery gray material. You see inside the walls there are some ooze growing, but it seems to be farmed. So these big farms on the inside, and there's different buildings, and they kind of builds up to the center. And there is a like landing facility, kind of outside kind of facility with a roof out of the same silver material. If following standard procedure, about 10 minutes before you would land, before you're flying over the city, you contact them then. And you would get a message asking you your business. It's like, what's your business here? And it's in person.
Hostile. That's different. Come on.
Who's on the comms?
Me.
What do you say when you get asked your business?
Careful.
I mean, we have open trade with all Naomi Musk, IG. I just transport our documentation, I guess.
Okay.
Transmit.
Okay, so you contact them. Or so you send this in, they're like, okay, you do not have the right to trade here, though.
Is this not
No, and you're speaking interchat, and they have a noticeable accent. So, the planet, as you would probably know, although the elevator is run by XMI, most of the planet is run by the House of Sosapreta, another faction. The person talking to you is an Anak, which is pretty common for houses because, the people in charge of most of the area. So, the houses are all part of the Articulum of Diomedes, which is led by a dominant species of the Anak, and which your pilot is a member of that species. And there's two houses that you know of.
Yeah, Luria and Sosopatria.
Yeah, so right there. And the House of Sotarata runs most of this planet. And the accent you're hearing is Rigilian. And they are kind of a knowledge-based house. The house's officials, like, sanctioned roles is over universities, research, and that sort of thing. I mean, they also do other things. I mean, they need to raise their own money, so farming and ranching and various things of this sort would be up their alley, but it would also be like they would research it for biotech and that sort of thing as well.
Now do we don't?
So the Anak on the comms of the name of Laren looks at you and says, "Yeah, it's not nice at my facility. We don't work no corporation here."
My apologies. How do we apply for access then?
Well, I mean, it's an open city. You just don't have trade rights. They'll let you land if you wish. If you ask, you might be able to just land and talk to them at that point.
Tell him I gotta go to the bathroom.
Let's look at your contract.
Okay, so we can land, but we don't have
Yeah, you don't have a lot
trade
of like
trade rights.
Yeah, so what do you have? You have
It's an Onyx City.
access to all ports through New Titan through XMI. So they do have a deal with XMI to allow their ships to land for a variety of services, but you'd have to negotiate a new privilege system to do any trade, and or a new trade article to do any trade, a new privilege thing to do any more than land. Because XMI does run the ports of most of the city. Of most of the By the way, you did complete this, so let's do this. There we go. Look at that. Contract's almost finished. So, that's the deal, is you only have kind of a vague right to land here because XMI does do maintenance for their landing port. So you see that there's like a little XMI, like they have a store and stuff, so as you're moving towards it you see like little XMI like one of the standard branded stores, supermarkets, and port facility.
You said this guy was Anna that talked to the captain?
Yep.
What was his name?
Laren.
Larry. I'd like to contact him separately
You can.
after we land, or we're on our way towards landing, wherever he points us to.
So he's gonna allow you. You're allowed to land there because XMI does run this. Does do services to this port, but you don't have the rights to trade with the city or anything.
Yeah, but surely an Anak could buy a nice Anak drink somewhere, right? Like,
Oh yeah, that's why you're allowed to land, because sometimes ships come over here on various facilities and, you know, go on hunts or whatever.
So
Hunts, you say?
I just wanted to talk Anak to Anak with this guy.
Okay.
Find out where the best Anak bars are.
So did you want to do that call, or are we going to... I can show you that you guys can look up the general information, tourist info and that sort of thing.
Mostly what I'm actually after is to find out like strange human activity, since we're actually here to find the Marquita route.
Okay, that sounds like part of the investigation of the general area. Cool. So you asked to land. They say you're allowed to land, but they ask you what your business is because it is their port. It's just the maintenance is done by XMI.
We're doing maintenance.
They know you're free spacers unless you've hidden this information.
It's a routine facility checkup.
You can just tell them you're here on XMI business, maybe. What are you telling them?
Well, this is why the captain's here. He's supposed to.
We're tourists. Just
Yeah, we're visiting the XMI facilities, and and we also might explore the city just
Business
Sightseeing.
as our as private citizens.
Okay, he rolls his oozy eyes at you in his sluggy way and goes, fine. And allows you to land. He tells you that any trade done without permission of the city government, or the as he calls them, the holdmaster, it would be considered smuggling.
verboten.
You of course can make any trades with the store as usual through your XMI contacts, but any other trade with other individuals is considered off limits without holdmaster
taking his piece.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much you have to negotiate another trade article with either this one hold or pretty much all of House Ceratoris' locations.
Well, he probably will want to grant that since we have some highly valuable marginal trade goods.
There you go. They're very marginal.
Everybody wants their hands on those marginal trade goods.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. It's true. Okay, so you guys land then? Okay, so you swoop in over the city. You see like there's this large marketplaces, and it's quite the vibrant looking location. Except the buildings, which are all kind of silver color, and all the roofs, which are kind of silver color. But hanging down from them is, you can see as you're landing at the outdoor location, there's lots of like red and gold like hanging dividers and stuff everywhere, separating the markets and down the streets and that sort of thing. As you land, it's outdoor kind of location. You see two XMI like deckhands using blowtorches to destroy any ooze from underneath your craft as you come in. And then after you land, a large silver roof folds out over top of your ship.
Interesting. They
And
somehow figured out a way to keep it out.
yeah. Okay, so you've now landed.
Look at fixing up our rear end.
This is, you do not does not have a
Facility.
Maintenance.
it doesn't have that sort of facility in it. There's not a full dry dock here. This is you could have probably done that in the main city, or you could do that anytime you go back to SMI's main port. On Danoine.
Right.
So, what are you guys doing? So you land, the ship's going down. Are you guys going out full combat gear as usual, or are you going to try to blend in this time?
Yeah. Oh, gosh, it's a hard one. Probably
The captain
go.
tells me otherwise.
I think we should go without, probably.
Yeah, I think we need to blend in a little bit more. We need to be a little more covert.
But what happens if we get into trouble? How are we going to get?
I mean, you hold them off, and while we run.
Not good.
Oh, I feel way better with this now.
Mhm.
Okay.
No, we're not. We're gonna try to not get into any trouble.
But I bring my Marquis uniform, pack it in my fan pack.
We don't want to take on the Marquis room. We just need to figure out where the heck they are.
That's right.
Okay.
Let's start
So,
tapping into communication systems.
what do your ship suits look like, by the way? So ship suits are like, like Star Trek Enterprise or uniforms from any show where they are on a ship.
They don't look like Star Trek uniforms.
So they could look like pretty much anything. I mean, they could all be completely individualistic if you want.
Well, mine's a pressure shell, so mine looks like a rubber dinghy.
Well, no, that I'm talking about your actual ship suit, the one on the inside of all that.
Yeah, my ship suit.
It is.
If you've got the shell on it, it means it's also got like pretty much over. Usually on a human, it would be like over the torso. It'd be like like the Klingon and Next Generation kind of like. So it would have like anti-compression kind of armor on it.
Yeah. Well, that's what I got.
Okay, so but what does the actual suit look like? Are they all the same? Do you all look the same? Like, do you all like dress in uniform? Or does it say FSRA Auspicious on them? Or you all like have your own custom ones that make you look like a ragtag like group of?
Oh, I just assumed they were all XMI. Or if we're allowed to customize them, mine's gonna be badass.
Yeah, tell me how badass it is then. You can do whatever you want. I mean, free spacers. You have the word free in it.
Oh, nice.
You can do whatever you want.
The freaking suit wasn't free.
Yeah, I mean, you print these suits out of the machine so they can look like whatever you want. So.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Find out what mine looks like.
Mine looks more like an engineer, utilitarian But I think that we all definitely have the symbols of our ship and everything.
Yeah, I mean, you can print it with or without when you make it, but you tend to go with the engineer jumpsuit kind of deal.
Yeah.
Okay. What about Captain Zatal? This is the first time you guys kind of went out and about on this. We haven't asked about what your ship suits look like. Since you've been jumping in like full EVA suits almost every time.
Yeah.
Brian, what does your suit look like?
I had not given it any thought.
Mine's kind of scalloped.
Yours is kind of what?
Scalloped. It's like it's pretty much every layer of my suit, from space suit to
ship suit to
ship suit
outer shell,
has like a scalloped kind of.
I don't know what scalloped means in this context.
Look up scalloped helmets.
Oh.
Here, I'll show you a picture. Where can I post? Where can I post? Post here. Like that helmet. See that helmet there? It's like
oh. Okay. So you're
everywhere because I'm like a giant slug, right? With like these.
So you have like a heart. Your interior suit, which is normally like fabric or something, is like this has this kind of odd scallopy kind of fold to it, and it's more of a harder material, like a plastic or something.
Yeah, it's the ship suit version is probably more flexible, but it retains that kind of look.
Yeah, so it's like it's made of that really high end like chainmail or something the whole time.
Yeah.
Except it's got these like folds and everything. Okay, cool. So you're kind of, is it like shiny silver or like black?
Yeah, black and bronze.
Okay, so you have a guy in freaking black and bronze like metallic clothing.
Yeah,
and a guy in a jumpsuit who looks like he could repair your fridge.
Hmm?
Sorry, I keep talking over you because I can barely hear you.
Is it still quiet?
Yeah.
I switched mics. Is it louder now?
Yeah.
That's louder?
A little bit.
What about that?
Not much.
Alright, fine. I don't know. I wasn't saying much anyway.
I'm sorry, dude. No, that sounds really cool. What about you, Zatal? You're a big freaking octopus. What do you look like? Like metal? Like I don't forgot what color you were.
Purple.
Pale blue striped skin with matching eyes.
Okay, so you're like a blue octopus in what sort of outfit are you wearing?
It's probably something pretty. Well,
maybe it's like crossed over, kind of like that, the kind of almost like it should it'd be velcroed, kind of like this, and then they kind of go down on the tentacles, and then like the top could have a kind of a business suit kind of look to it. Are you thinking something like that?
What about this?
Business suit was kind of like what I was thinking.
Why does it always open in this freaking window?
That's what Zatal should do.
That didn't work. All I got was sponsored ads.
What?
Yeah, no, that's probably not it.
What? Clips phase, man.
This is a horrible website you sent me to, man.
This is a horrible website. Huh?
Photo bucket.
Not crooked.
Is it Photo Bucket? Blame Google.
Okay, that's fine, dude. Don't worry about it. You might want to. Anyways, okay. So you wearing something businessy. You're gonna think about what that looks like for next time we talk about it. And you guys get off the ship then. So where are you going? What are you doing? There's a hold master you know about. There's the guy who you talked to on the radio. Would probably be somewhere nearby. and you talk to him in the comms. He doesn't have to be, but he probably is somewhere in this facility. There's some deckhands kind of wandering about, flame-throwing everything. And beyond that, you can see outside the facility is lots of hanging sheets in different colors and stuff.
Hanging sheets?
Yeah, so are you guys just walking out and checking things out?
Sure.
Okay, so you walk out of the port, and the port is kind of XMI, a little more run down than most XMI stuff, so not nearly as hardcore corporate. As you leave, you basically are entering like an Arabic market or something. There's these like sheets hanging down between all the different market stalls, and brightly colored kind of like fabrics everywhere, and they're selling all sorts of things, a variety of like fruits and stuff that probably grow on these ooze plants that seem to be everywhere. There's materials, there's food vendors selling like a variety of like meats on a stick, some sort of like burgers and that sort of thing. And so it's basically a huge vibrant market. There's lots and lots of like containers. They're basically selling like spices and stuff.
Spice explosives.
They're probably produced by the ooze. What it does is once it grows up and it moves around and it forms various types of seed and that sort of thing, and if you picked it before it turned into spores, there seems to be a ton of different varieties of it. You might get spices out of it. You don't know a lot about agriculture. I don't think anybody in the group, so.
No.
So you're basically in this vibrant market. There's people playing music and lots of different shops selling all sorts of things. Clothing is being sold. They're selling all sorts of like farming stuff. A variety of sundries.
So if explosives were made here, it would have to be produced from the local whatever you could get. How they make
Yeah,
it,
I mean
you know?
that's one piece of information you never found because none of you did bioanalysis. So
Right.
yeah,
But we could.
if you're going to keep
deduce that,
thinking
I
that
guess.
way, you might want to take biosciences as a skill. Yeah, that is technically a possibility. It's just really hard for you guys to figure out because you're not really skilled out that way. The things you do know about is the Anak who you talked to on the radio, and there's supposedly a holdmaster who runs the place. You could also, I don't know, go around looking for people who speak French or something. I don't know. There's lots of things. Like, just tell me what sort of thing you would want to do.
Well, Captain, how do we want to take this?
I think we should get to the holdmaster first. See what going on. He knows what's going on. He's like a guy who serves drinks at a bar. He knows stuff.
I mean, New Deep, yeah, you wanted to talk to.
Well, if I can find another guy, I can talk to another Anna because he was just the first one I found.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably in the building. He's probably upstairs in the building you're standing out in front of right now.
Yeah, I can go talk to him, but
Go
talking
talk
to
to
him
him.
is not my
I mean-
business suit, right?
There are lots of like variety of like tea houses and like they're kind of like hookah shops or whatever. Some of these spices seem to go well in suspensions, liquid suspensions. Some seem to be smoked. Some seem to be like put on food. There's a ton of this stuff here.
What if I just put on this uniform, this Markiru uniform, and start walking around?
You could try that. Use your amazing social and
Yeah,
social
amazing.
skills to go and pretend to be somebody. That's a great idea. You should totally do that.
You would make something happen.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So you guys are just standing there right now, watching this crazy stuff ahead of you, having a conversation.
We're chatting in our communicators.
Yeah. So you're just kind of all standing there staring, and people are kind of start looking at you a little bit as you go by, as they walk by.
Say something out loud. Good. Yes.
I'll go buy a meat on a stick.
Okay, so you go over and walk to the stand. They're selling meat, variety of different types of meat. Names you probably don't know. Regalian, Roland Regalian.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know Regalian?
No.
Okay, so there's a variety of it says weird text up there. There's no interchat translation.
I know Regalian.
Okay, so you would know what it was. There's a variety of sauces that can be got for them, like toppings. And they come in a huge variety of colors. You see every color from cyan to purple to red.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll all be available to put on the 3 or 4 different types of meat.
Okay. Well, I pick one that looks good to me and I point at it.
Okay, so
how much?
Let me check what your money looks like. Okay, so the first time we've been out and about. So money works, if you're doing this sort of stuff, would be kind of a commerce kind of check.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, this would be on your character sheet. You currently only have local credits for your home port. So you would have to go to a Holdmaster and try to get some of this if you want to actually. Otherwise, you can just kind of bargain for it with a commerce roll.
I could trade.
So with a commerce roll, you do an economy roll, and you would have to use money, but you don't have to do the roll. And you normally have to roll, but you do because you don't actually have any commerce. If you actually had any credits whatsoever, this sort of thing would be free. Like, you just get it. It would just be, washed over.
I put my hands in my pocket and I go, oh, sorry.
So you can make an economy roll, difficulty 3.
I'll make an economy roll.
So it's a commerce roll, 3 difficulty.
Economy.
So.
Okay. Hey.
Okay.
How'd you do?
You rolled a -2.
No. Nice.
Okay, let me just check one little thing, see how many dice I actually have right now.
That's 15 rolls straight.
Okay. I get 2 more dice in this cup, and the guy starts to yell at you in Regalian.
Yeah.
When you don't seem to have the money that he's asking for, you're not really sure what he's talking about. He's pointing
I've already eaten half the thing too. So
no, he's asked you to pay in advance. Is these weird little bowls, right? And he's expecting you to do something with the bowl, and he's yelling at you because you're not paying. And you pointed at something and said you wanted it, right? You pointed at I'll take one of those, the one with the green sauce, and then the more white colored meat. And then he looked at you and kind of waited, and then you didn't do anything, so he pointed at the bowl, and then when you didn't do what you're supposed to do, he started yelling at you, and
after I licked the bowl. Yeah, I'm feeling very uncomfortable right now.
So he's basically screaming at you, kind of.
I slowly start taking steps backwards, slowly.
Yeah, he moves out beyond it. He's an Anak, and he's just kind of screaming at you in Regalian.
Man.
And then he puts up his little sluggy arms and walks back and starts just muttering to himself and continues making, doing prep.
That's all I got. What do you guys
paying
got?
customers.
Good job.
I'm a credit to this crew.
So you walk back to the other group, and what are you guys doing while he goes off and tries to steal food or something. Whatever the hell he was doing.
Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
I was going to talk to that Anak that was just upstairs.
Yep, there's lots of Anak around, by the way. There's lots of Anak here.
All right, well, I'll look for like the seediest looking one, the most likely one to hit like a red light district.
Okay, so you have a couple choices there. There's a guy playing kind of a weird instrument. It looks like a cross between a thing they used to make the Doctor Who thing and a sitar.
Okay.
So he's playing this weird looking device and basically busking, and then there's a guy who's kind of just sitting there in an alley. Those are very seedy looking people. They're kind of near each other within a block or block and a half of you right now. When you look around, that's what you see.
All right. Well, I'll check with the musician.
Okay.
And
so he's playing. He's got like all sorts of like tassels and like fabric all over his shell. He's got it kind of decorated up like it's a house or a booth or something almost. And he's playing this very strange looking instrument.
Well, I'll wait for him to finish his song.
And he's singing. It's like a old. You're on Anak. You recognize the song. It's an old song about working in the stacks, shuffling.
Is a Space Dwarf song.
It's pretty much about doing bureaucratic work for the man. It's an old one from back during the old gold years, about how hard it is to be like an Anak.
Yeah.
In the time of the old gold, and so it moves quiet. It's basically one of the songs they would have sung when they got back from long days working, categorizing, plotting materials and trade, that sort of thing.
Well, I nod appreciatively, of course.
Yeah. It's part of a large symphony of bureaucratic songs that are considered to have created some of the unions of the guild. It's a guild song. They're called the guild symphonies. It's like one of them. I don't know if your culture is nearly high enough to actually know anything about.
Nope, I totally don't appreciate any of this.
Okay, cool.
But
so he finishes and he looks over at you and he points to a bowl. There's a bowl on the ground and it's completely empty. And he's expecting you to somehow pay him with this weird looking bowl. It isn't like a bowl that you would put money in necessarily, because this one actually is just the top of a bowl and the bottom, but it's holes. It's like a wire bowl.
I make the universal sign of no money, and then
he looks up at you like he's kind of like, but I just played a song for you.
There's other people around, man. It's not just me. I was polite. I was waiting for you to finish.
Oh yeah, you see
I don't care about your fucking song.
One of the bird people, the Atlas, one of them walks past and puts his finger on the edge of the bowl and spins it around, and a noise happens. And then there's a little ping, and she nods, and he looks up at her and thanks, and he's like, well, that was weird. What do you want?
I'll try that, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, so you put your finger around the edge, and it makes the sound of when you put your finger along a glass, but there's no do. There's no sound after that. He looks at you and goes, you don't have any creds, do you? What are you, just off the ship? You should go talk to the hold master.
Oh,
Jeez.
okay.
You haven't negotiated for any creds here? God damn it. He's like, what do you want?
Sorry.
I can't believe I just got paid by an Atlas, but not by one of my own people. This is ridiculous.
Your song was terrible anyway. I agree. We gotta go talk to the whole master if we're gonna get anything.
I said talk
Yeah.
to the
You
Sounds
could
like-
talk to this guy. He's willing to talk to you. He's just kind of weirded out that he got paid by some
All right,
Alatus.
fine. I'll talk to him. I'll say, look, I got no money. We're gonna go talk to the whole master, but I was hoping to find like strange, seedy red light districts where I might find, you know, comfort.
He looks at you like, what the fuck? You just want to... I can't imagine you actually doing this in real life, walking up to some guy.
I'm a space
Can you
alien.
tell me where I find the whores? Like,
He's at a port. He is set up as a musician right outside the
CD
port.
port.
he's like...
Tell me how he does not.
Okay, I gotta look up
Dude.
facts
Got
about
it.
your people to see if you even do this sort of thing. Okay, Anak,
Honestly, it's
conditional
not-
transition, live poach. Okay, sure, okay. He's like, well, sometimes when some of them become female, they do go over to this area, and he describes this area like a few blocks away. And he says, look for the purple shells.
Yeah, gross.
Yeah, I'm looking for something even more exotic than that.
He looks, you know,
I'm looking for the human ones. The ones that
He's like-
the places that'll take humans.
what?
The ones
For-
with the humans.
for your
the humans,
friends?
Like this guy. Yeah, for my friend. For
Oh, I don't know anything about that. I don't know.
I
There's,
gotta try those.
it's in the same area, I think. Just look for. I don't know. It's not a lot of humans here. There is a group that. There's been a group around of humans, but there's not a lot of humans who actually live here.
Oh, do they have
Oh.
any French-speaking humans? My friend said I gotta try the French-speaking humans.
Okay, I need you to roll some dices on this front.
That's fine. I'm
Jesus.
terrible at this anyway. So
Okay, so
I'm looking for French-speaking humans.
So this sounds like persuasion to me. Unless you're lying. It is kind of lying. You're kind of lying to this guy. So I think it's a performance test.
Well, it's the same anyway.
Yeah. And you can use Onyx if you wish.
Sweet. I'm going to. That burns a charge.
Yep.
Okay. Performance.
And the difficulty is 3. Because it's just like a normal dude. You're just asking him a bizarre question. Holy crap, look at that success. Wow.
Did I?
Yeah, you rolled 1 success. 2 10s and a 2, and then all negatives. You rolled as bad as you could on the threat dice, but almost as good as you could on the test dice, so good on you. You could have technically got 3 on this, even with all the negatives. Okay, cool. So,
So French-speaking humans.
he's like, yeah, there's a group of, I don't know, hunters or whatever. They tend to hang out, and he tells you a kind of neighborhood where he's seen a lot of humans.
All right. Of course, I flick that over to the captain.
Okay, so it's
Our human.
the whole place is. I don't actually have a settlement map for this. Or a settlement description for this because I'm still working on that sheet. But there's like 5 neighborhoods, and it's one of those neighborhoods. It's the area where they keep a lot of the animals, and they tend to go out and he calls it the hunters neighborhood. It's where they do expeditions out into the jungle from.
Interesting. Well,
Cool.
hopefully they have
Let's do that.
humans that will satisfy my.
He rolls his little beady squiddy eyes at you, little like and you are let free of this conversation, or at least he is,
I tell
as he
him I'll
starts
come
to
back.
play music again.
I tell him I'll come back and tip him later. After
He nods like, "Yep, that's what they say." And what do you guys want to do? It is almost 10. So we could start next time with whichever activity you tell me you want to do next. So you can go see the headmaster, the hold master, and do a negotiation to add local credits and perhaps some trade rights and stuff to your contract. You could just go and try to find these French people in this neighborhood that you've heard about, in the Huntress neighborhood, or you could do something else. What do you want to do next time?
Let's start with the hold master.
Okay, we'll start with the hold master.
This is the safest way.
Oakley dokley. Okay. I'm sorry the second section was so short, but it's what happens sometimes. And I'll see you all next week. Is everybody good next week? I think it's Thanksgiving coming up or something for you Americans.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Thanksgiving will be over, so.
Oh, I have no idea. So, is it Thursday or something, I think?
Yeah, it's this Thursday, so.
Oh, okay. Cool. Well, don't eat too much turkey or ham or whatever.
Both.
I don't know if that's possible.
Depends on how well it's made.
That's right.
I find it's often dry. Okay, cool.
See you guys.
Thanks.
See you
Thank
guys
you.
next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Night.